everyone. Welcome to the course ARC 494, Ecology and Sustainable Development. This is Tasfin Aziz, a lecturer, Department of Architecture, Brack University. So I would like to take you to the course of ecology and sustainable development, and basically I would like to stretch what this course is all about. So coming from the general information, this course doesn't have any prerequisite. It is a 2-credit course, and that means you have to take part 2 classes per week, and the class will be started from 10 past 10 to 11:05 a.m. every Monday and Wednesday. So for the final exam, you'll have to sit for final exam the day 5 afternoon. So what is this course is all about? This course will be covering the fundamental theories, concepts on environment, ecosystem, sustainability, and development paradigm. So in the beginning, the course will started discussing about the environment, different components of environment, ecology, earth system, and so on. Then we'll be discussing global environmental pictures, what is happening around the globe. And this is basically justified around the notion of sustainability paradigm. So keeping Mother Nature in the core of our thinking, we'll be taking this course, and going forward, we'll be thinking about weather, climate, and climate change as a changing scenario of this anthropogenic and nature-based hazards and everything. So we'll also talk about air pollution. We'll talk about water resources and pollutions and some mechanism how to reduce these pollutions. Then we'll be thinking about how a municipality solid waste management works, environments. Then we'll talk about energy resources. Mostly we'll be talking about renewable energy and its implications in this current changing scenario. Then we will come to our country perspective. We'll be talking environmental problems and practices in Bangladesh in the built environment perspective, and some emerging environmental issues and way out. So thinking about the learning outcome of this course, will assume the students will be able to understand and engage themselves with the fundamental texts on nature and society relationship, how the economic system and the society evolves around economic system, and how resource extraction from the nature is happening, and what are the consequences of that, and how as a built environment practitioners, how we can see the space in terms of keeping in mind the nature is actually embracing everything. So nature is the source of our inspiration, of understanding all the dimension, all the perspective, and all the discourses of this course. Then we will also assume this course will enable you to understand the contemporary global and local environmental concerns and the consequences of human activities on environment. For example, air pollution, water pollution, solid waste management, climate change as a whole. Then you will be able to critically examine a sustainability paradigm and how it is translated or reflected into the day-to-day life of the community people, of the city dwellers or urbanites. And you'll also understand the linkage with environmental issues through the lens of built environment. Later on, we are assuming that students will be able to read and consult policy and legal documents for environmental conservation and preservation initiatives. So, talking about teaching learning methodology, this course is a lecture-based course, and all the lectures will be followed by discourse. So it will be a both-way process. So and a problem-based lectures. So we'd like to bring a lot of problems, environmental issues onto the table, and we will discuss how to resolve those problems, being as a student of architecture department. Then we'll hold informal debates on current issues following lectures. There will be quiz after each segment of the lecture. The idea is to engage students within the learning process. Then there will be a bi-weekly individual assignment to have in-depth understanding on the respective topic we'll be discussing. There might be some reading assignments, and we will consult books, surfing web, journals, and so on. So definitely we'll have a lot of reading materials. Some books will be consulted, some other documents from important organizations are also be consulted, and you will be provided a lot of information and documents in between. So basically, we'll be consulting Principle of Environmental Science: An Inquiry and Application by William Cunningham. We are also thinking about consulting environmental science, the book Environmental Science by Barnard, and so on. Later on, we'll be also consulting Bangladesh environmental conservation rules to understand the holistic, approach of perceiving space and its management system. Um, and we'll also talk about how to protect and preserve those open space and playgrounds, as long as we are also taking part of, in our later studios, we'll be taking part of designing open space and public spaces, and how these environmental elements are somehow mingling with our core ideas. And this is also part of our understanding, will be part of our understanding. So looking at the tentative schedule, we already know that this semester is about 14 weeks. So our week will be started. Our lecture will be started by understanding the introduction, why this course is all about, and why this course is important for us to know, and how we are discussing different discourses around the environmental elements, and how we can implement those ideas into our design works. Then we'll be talking about relationship among environment, society, and technology. So keeping technology in the core of everything, we'd like to know how society, how economic functions are actually taking place, and how environment, the mother nature, is actually embracing everything within it. In the later lecture, we'll be talking about environment as a broader concept and Earth system, and starting from the centrosphere to the troposphere, we'll be discussing how this system and where actually we will be intervening in our courseworks. Then a lecture will be on ecology, structure, and function of ecosystem. So ecosystem and ecosystem services is kind of an important thing we'd like to know. We'd also like to know the carrying capacity of an ecosystem, how much stress you can give onto an ecosystem to maintain the harmony and to maintain the sustainability of the environment. Then the concept of sustainability, sustainable development will be discussed. There will be three unifying themes of environment. We call them sustainability, sustainable development, and stewardship. So taking care of Mother Nature, and how the sustainability, environmental sustainability, and development equation is actually working in between, is a kind of an important factor to understand. Then we'll be talking about environmental equity and justice to attain sustainability. Later on, in the midsection of our coursework, we'd like to know weather, climate, and climate change. We'll be discussing 7 theories of climate change, and we'd like to know the greenhouse effect and the heat island effect in our space. And we would like to talk about air pollution and cities. Then we'll discuss about the ozone layer depletion and acid precipitation, because it has the direct impact on citizens, direct impact on space and activities around space, and all the functions of a city can be impacted through this ozone layer depletion and acid precipitation. One of the core idea of understanding environment is understanding about hydrological cycle, the surface water and the subsurface water, and the contamination process of it. Then we will be knowing the pollution sources and pollution control mechanism. Coming back to the municipality, I would like to know how the municipal solid waste management system works, and what is the relation with the built environment design and everything. And on doing that, there are other issues like energy resources, importance of renewable energy, and how we can design our spaces considering the energy efficiency parameter. Environmental concern of Bangladesh is one of the biggest part of our discussion, will be a biggest part of our discussion, because under this topic we'll be discussing what the current climate catastrophe we are facing, starting from the flood to sea level rise to salinity intrusion. So all this earthquake, all these issues will be discussed under this topic of environmental concern of Bangladesh. Then relation of environmental concern with the built environment. This is another thing we would like to link all those, climate-driven catastrophe or anthropogenic problem with the built environment equation. Then we'd like to know about the planning practices, environmental planning practices in our country, what are the policy framework and the legislative cover we have. Then some emerging issues, for example, the green building technologies, sustainable development parameters, global consensus, starting from the Kyoto Protocol and so on. Currently, we'll also can discuss about COP 21 or Paris Agreement. And after understanding all this thing, we would like to end our semester, and we'll have a wrap up and lecture. And after that, we'll have to appear in the final exam. The course is a course evaluation is designed through quizzes, group presentation, and assignments, which will be covered 30% of the grade. Then there will be a midterm exam, which is around the weight of the midterm exam will be around 20%. Then we'll have a final exam, and the weightage is 50%. Although we know the distribution of the number and the weightage may change based on the directive from UGC and the university. So this is all about our course ARC 494. If you have any questions, you may feel free to ask. Thank you.